Hi guys, it's your girl Salon Distort, aka Hailky Healing Empress. I'm going to today is going to be my first segment of um, Dark Empath Tarot, and I'm going to be using my the Real Empress Isis deck that I made myself. It's off of a pack of cards that's actually made the original, because most people don't realize that the original tarot was actually ancient runes, which was numbers, so I use that, but I also wrote my own things on there because as y'all know, I said I do energy, and so but this isn't going to be like your average, um, like how you see most of the people talking about what this person is doing, what that person did to you, short scams and all that stuff like that. This is going to be a little bit more in depth. This is going to be about the things that are going on that they don't want you to know. And I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep doing quick, short segments, and then every once in a while, I will get on live and do live segments. Of course, and also keep in mind that I'm still doing, as you know, I started my cure-alls. You guys know I'm a master shaman and herbalist. And so I do make remedies for different ailments and things of that nature. I am very heavily practiced in the medical field. So now I am not a licensed doctor, however, not yet anyway. However, I will be working on some of my certifications um, in the meantime. But in the meantime, I am a health practitioner, so therefore, but yeah, the cure alls are mine. You can take them by mouth, and forgive me, guys, because it's kind of cold out here. Right now, I'm near UPMC, um, which is a whole entity in itself. But we'll go there shortly. I'm gonna kind of get to everybody when it comes to this. But anyway, so we're gonna see. I'm gonna read energy because we're gonna see what's going on. And I'm not talking about like I said, I'm not here to talk about exes and things of that nature. I'm going to talk about corporations. I'm going to expose secrets. I'm going to talk about the things that everybody wants to hide. For months and months now, or even years, I've been talking about how people have been they've been doing trafficking and trafficking children and using children to do medicines and things of that nature, and nobody wanted to believe me. And then all of a sudden, they come out with the FC files, and everybody all of a sudden wants to jump on the I told you trafficking was going on bandwagon. Now, it wasn't just me that was talking about it. There was other people, but they called them conspiracy theorists. And it wasn't a conspiracy. It was just officials, very, as you want to call the powers that be, that were basically defaming a lot of people's character, um, saying that they was crazy and this, that, and the other, and actually done a lot of stuff to people. By the way, just so y'all know, the MK Ultra program is very real. The government does experiment on people. Most of the buildings that are vacant, that are owned by commercial real estate people, are not actually vacant. They hold a lot of nefarious stuff in there. They'll put the signs up for sale, and they'll say, especially in New York, they'll put the signs up for sale and say commercial real estate for sale. But if you're an actual person that wants to do something normal, like a normal business, you'll call that commercial real estate, and you'll say, hey, I want to buy some real estate. And they'll look at you, and then they'll basically, if you're not part of their clique or crew, in that way, they'll tell you, no, you can't buy it. But meanwhile, the person that wants to traffic guns and things of that nature, and children, and basically, and by the way, they do eat them as well. Most of your high ups, your powers that be, your Masons, Eastern Stars, Illuminati, things of that nature, they do sacrifices, human ones at that. And most of them, and the biggest ones that do the biggest sacrifices is the medical corporations, such as UPMC. And most people don't really know that. And most people think that certain countries are exempt from being a part of this, and no, even Canada is a part. So, certain dignitaries, foreign dignitaries that are a part of different countries. Why do you think that they have a world meeting of the world leaders? They're not deciding. Um, they're deciding who they're gonna try to get to separate people, so that way they can keep doing the nefarious things in the background. Um, most of y'all think that there's a such thing as a Republican, Democrat, and a liberal, and all that good stuff, and that is their way of keeping you divided. And then when they start to see when more people wake up, they'll come out with a new apocalyptic disease. That's this time it's all of a sudden it's going to be measles. Which most people have had measles. So they'll come up with something, and then when a lot of times when them planes are floating around in the air and they're spraying stuff, they're actually spraying toxins over the air to do that. And so anyway, I'm going to use my cards today. So, and the reason why I call them the Real Empress Isis Dark Empath deck is because one of my past lives was Isis. So, and she was the original High Priestess. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to do a fun fact right now to some of you powers that be that want to sit there and try to defame my character. The reason why I know this is because, do you know one of the seven wonders of the world, which is the Great Sphinx? That was actually a temple that was built to Isis, which actually on the inside of it is a great hall that she herself used to sit in, a golden hall with all kinds of runes and everything like that. There's so many secrets. I'm not just going to be telling the bad people secrets. I'm telling the good people secrets. I'm telling everybody secrets because the world needs to know what you're actually dealing with. You're not dealing with just flesh. You're dealing with principalities and spirits and people doing dark things that they should not be doing. And all that stuff is coming down, crashing down hard. More and more people are waking up to the nonsense that are going on, and everybody and the government's scrambling to make new rules and things of that nature. And you got the president over here making rules to that nature. Running around here talking about they're completely healthy, having Nicki Minaj talk about he's protected and this, that, and the other, when in reality he actually has a tumor. Um, and what that does to the brain. It makes people go crazy. But anyway, so right here we have the Five of Steels, which is actually the number 5. So, in which I call it steel because I go off earth, like steel, like metals, wood, things of that nature. But in the tarot deck, that would be considered the Five of Swords. Excuse me. And so basically, and it's in the upright, which means all these people are going to be defeated. Okay? Just so you know. And there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be in this energy. The Eight of Steels. In their head. Stuck in their head. All up in their emotions. And this is the Ace of Clubs, which is actually, I would consider that the Ace of Cups. But I call it the Ace of Emotions. Because they're emotional about the fact that we see what you're doing. We know what you're doing. Light workers, star seeds, earth angels, the chosen. We're not going nowhere. And right now, I'm in my Queen of Swords energy because, these people kind of piss me off. So now, I'm going to go ahead and do the darn thing. Now, if you look on the back here, if you actually look at the back of your deck of cards, you got a bunch of angels, but more so fallen ones anyway. And we're all going to be moving on to calmer waters. 6 of Swords, or 6 of Steel. My thing is a little bit sloppy today because, guys, I'm not really I don't do cards all the time. I do energy. But keep in mind before this goes out, I'm gonna do a part two in a little bit. But keep in mind before this goes out that I do have my cure-alls ready to go, and you have to do a consultation with me first, and it varies by price. But eat, pray, love, and for self.